the Emmys, the nominees have been announced, and the Emmys have gone full social justice warrior. If you look at this list, it is basically a who's who of social justice warrior shows, actors, contributors, writers, to the point where this is actually good. They've overreached so much that Bill Nye's Sexual Spectrum episode was nominated for Outstanding Writing in a nonfiction series.
Sexuality's a spectrum, everyone is on it. Even you might like it if you sit up on it.
Outstanding. Exceptional. Exemplary, some would say.
It's the Onion, right? This is not real, right?
A lot of people are saying, why are you talking about this? Why does this doesn't matter? Who cares? No, actually this does, because up until recently, the Emmys, the Oscars, these were some of the most watched events.
Yes.
And now people, hopefully, and we'll get into exactly why this is the case with the Emmys, some information that you may not have known. I think people are waking up to the fact that it's actually a propaganda tool.
Absolutely.
That's all it is. It's one big propaganda machine to try and push a social political message of the day. And if you look at their board members, you look at their history, it is clear as day. So first off, let's get into how can you prove motive here? Well, who determines the Emmys? So it's the Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, okay? And it's a symbol of peer recognition. The Academy has over 22,000 members divided into 30 peer groups in specialized fields. The members of each peer group vote on the nominees and winners for categories pertaining to a particular area of specialty. Here's something to know, that the huge majority of people who are on their staff are not only Democrats, but outright Clinton donors or supporters, if you look here. They are proactively giving all of their money to the Clintons. And this is why this matters. Is because it dispels this idea of talent over agenda.
Yeah.
We saw that with Samantha Bee last week. They're going, well, we don't really have an agenda. We just tell the truth.
It's about what's important for
right.
television.
That's the term they use all the time now.
Important.
Like, what are you talking about important with comedy?
Yeah.
Is it funny? It's important. What do you mean? Is Samantha Bee funny? She's important to have as a host.
Sir, I said important.
Well, how is it important? It's time. Do you mean it's funny? I mean, it's time for importance.
I thought comedy was like one way or the other.
So their chair, just to give you an idea, their chair of this academy is the chief executive officer of the institute that promotes gender and diversity representation. So Madeline DiNanno, let's bring this up, as the chief executive officer at the Geena Davis Institute on Gender in Media, the only research-based nonprofit working in the entertainment industry to systematically improve gender and diversity representation in children's entertainment. So I don't even know what that means, but this is basically their head of the people determining the Emmys is also the head of ensuring that the gender identity politics are played out appropriately and fairly in children's programming. We have more to get to, but maybe now you're starting to see just why they nominated this as outstanding.
Who enjoys a fleshlight in the cold moonlight?
Outstanding.
Outstanding.
Well, now I get it. The Geena Davis Institute, by the way, again, their chair, has also done talks at events sponsored directly by the Clinton Foundation. This is the person who's the head of the Academy with the Emmys. It shouldn't come as a surprise that the Institute has also promoted not only Hillary Clinton, but Chelsea Clinton on Twitter and actively, consistently pushed for transgender policies. So here's kind of the issue, is this bigotry of low expectations that you see from the left. But you see this in the entertainment industry, where it's a standard of low expectations as long as you meet the political threshold, as long as you meet the agenda threshold. And the reason this matters is because for a long time, awards, just like grants, just like scholarships, just like going to the best schools. It was supposed to be a meritocracy in the United States. You won the soccer game because you scored the goals, not because you didn't want to hurt the other team's feelings. That's how you won the award. That's how your shows did well. By the way, these awards, there's a huge discrepancy between the shows that rack up the awards often and people watching them. Yeah. That's another important note. There's such a disconnect with the American public, and some of it can be attributed to, well, yeah, 22,000 members in this, they're mostly going to lean left, but every single one, to the point that the nominees list is so remarkable. The only standard, it seems, that's consistent. There are other standards, and sometimes there are excellent programs that happen to be left, but the only standard that is consistent is that you have to at least be left or somewhat neutral to be allowed. There's nothing coming from the right that's allowed in there. Let me read you a list just not only from this year, we'll go throughout kind of the history of it, but this year we have Blackish, of course. Laverne Cox is transgender from The Orange is the New Black. We have Jeffrey Tambor for Transparent, comedy actor. You tell me if I don't know a single person who watches Transparent, and every time he goes out and he accepts a comedy award, Jeffrey Tambor talks about how beautiful the transgender community is. Go out there, make a tranny joke, it's a comedy. Samantha Bee, of course, for Variety Talk writing in a series. John Oliver, of course, Stephen Colbert for their shows. Alec Baldwin for his Trump SNL as supporting actor in a comedy series. Now, people can correct me if I'm wrong here, because I did some research today and it's hard to find this. I've only seen this twice. Someone who's actually not a cast member of a comedy show like SNL being nominated for playing a role. And by the way, Alec Baldwin plays it very poorly, mind you. Without the SNL makeup, his impression, is doing this. It's marginally better than Ben Shapiro's. Without the makeup. And by the way, I love Ben. He's just not an impressionist. But there are other shows, I think, on a show on Comedy Central where someone does a pretty good one. There was someone on Red Eye. I think someone does a pretty good one on this program, but certainly better than Alec Baldwin. The only times I've ever seen someone who wasn't an active cast member on SNL, Leslie Jones is nominated as a cast member for, I think, supporting actress, is Alec Baldwin as Trump and Tina Fey after she left SNL as Sarah Palin. Which, by the way, for those of you who don't remember, she was the one who created the quote, "I can see Russia from my house," and people thought Sarah Palin said. She never said it. Tina Fey said that, which again shows you that considering these are the only two times I've been able to find throughout all of Emmy history that this kind of an exception has been made for a nomination, it's not based on quality, it's based on the political damage that can be inflicted. So we've already said Samantha Bee, but a double nomination for Samantha Bee's Not the White House Correspondents' Dinner, Best Directing in a Variety Special. Stephen Colbert, again, for his live election night Democracy's series finale, Who's Going to Clean Up This Shit? Again, directing for a variety special. You have Veep, which is funny. You have Inside Amy Schumer. You have American Crime, The Reagans. You have Angels in America, which is about the AIDS epidemic, which never actually happened. Just don't have gay sex and use intravenous drugs without cleaning the needle and you're fine. Not to mention, Bill Nye Saves the World, writing. Outstanding writing for a non-fictional program. So in other words, when you look throughout history, you have Will and Grace. On any given year, I want you to do this research right now. We have the links up. We'll put it up at louderwithcrowder.com, or if you're watching this on YouTube, wherever you are. I want you to do the research year to year. Any year where there's a show with a whiff of LGBTQ, AAIP, or social justice, or implying that conservatives are racist, or doing damage to the Republican Party, whether it was the Bushes during that era, whether it was Mitt Romney. I think there was a documentary, too, I think with Netflix. I'm not entirely sure. There was something that had to do with Romney when I was looking through the list. But on any given year, if it has even just a tinge of this, it gets nominated. As a matter of fact, to not be nominated as a mainstream liberal program on any of the networks, you would, in fact, have to be worse, because it was not. You would have to be worse than Bill Nye's sex episode. To not be nominated, you would have to be worse than this.
Power bottom or a top off. Versatile love may have some butt stuff.
Outstanding writing.
Outstanding.
By the way, you want to, and everyone has different senses of humor, I get it, but this is the episode that could have single-handedly unraveled Bill Nye's career. When this happened on this program, we just ran the tape and laughed our asses off.
All my options only. Hard or moist, my vagina has its own voice.
Stop. We don't need to roll that many clips. I'm sorry. It is so bad that when you can just go watch and you don't need to provide any commentary, that's more damning. That's how bad something is. And maybe because they're so out of touch. Again, the activism, the donorship that you see the Democratic Party, they're working directly with the Clinton Foundation, they're working directly with news organizations that try to politically assassinate conservatives. They'll look at the social justice warriors who's list, which usually is not actually congruent with the shows that people are watching. When you add all that up, maybe that's why last year the Emmys had their lowest rated show ever. Ever. Which may have come as a surprise to them. But by God, they plan to turn this ship around.
Get off your soapbox. Get off your soapbox. My section's better than bagels with locks.
Lock her up! Hey, if you like this video, subscribe by clicking the button that says subscribe. If you're not aware of it now, there's no way you're learning the internet at this point. I'm not going to help you. But this was clipped from my daily show, available exclusively to louderwithcrowder.com/mugclub members. If you're student, military, or veteran, enter in that promo code. It's less than $6 a month, and you get daily content. No more clips, plus this hand-etched mug. Oh, when I feel it, I got a chill like on the inside.